Is it visible properly? Okay. Yeah. Hi all. Good evening all. Yeah. I think we have many we. Okay. We completed 7 sessions. Okay. Now we are in Angular routing. Okay. Most probably this is the last one for the training aspects, but the sample project one are that anyway we are doing that uh, tasks, right? So okay, so we all know what is the routing and how it works, as we have seeing in our general applications, like how we are building that mega menu, left navigation menu. We are building that, right, for every application, normal applications. So basically, that we are routing to from one screen to other screens, from the home page, from the mega menu we are navigating to one screen to other screen. So basically here routing also same thing. We can route from one component to other component. Okay. So when we moving from one component, one page to other page, there are some actions also we will take take on that routing actions, like we can send that values from one screen to other screens. How can we pass the values from one screen to other screen? Hmm? Query strings we use that, right? And also sometimes we would require to call screen when your button is clicked on the particular form. On clicking on that button you have to navigate to that home screen, right? All these actions called routing. Okay, all these actions we can achieve it here also in the Angular, the concept called routing. Okay, so helps in directing the user to a different views based on the user selections. So here everything is in a view for us in Angular. That HTML template which we are viewing on the screen, that is a called view. So we can navigate to different views using that Angular concepts. Okay, how we achieve this in Angular? So Angular, I think to remember in Angular 2, to implement this routing concept in Angular, we had to include some DLLs, and then we have to implement the routing concepts. But whereas if you come into that Angular 8 now, so when you create a Angular project, that will be automatically part of your solution or your project. It will ask you to include routing components to your solution. Then if you say yes, it will, the necessary files to the routing automatically will be added into your project. Okay, so that option we can choose when you create a route project, Angular project. Okay, I think I have created, when I was creating this application, the test application, I chose S option. That is the reason those file it came to me. Okay, so that I'm not again creating the project. It's a small step to make it S, to get that routing components or DLLs. Okay, yeah. Now, what are the files for routing? I'll show you. This is a solution. here there is a one file, right? App routing module.ts. This is the routing file. Here you have to do your configuration of the routing. Okay, there are broadly I can say four steps are there. One is that routing configuration, what component, you know, and what are the components to be navigated from here and there, that configuration, you know, and that each menu option, I mean coloring and everything, that kind of configuration you have to mention it here in the routing dot module.ts file. Okay, so then you have to go. So my solution or my module is enabled with the routing that I should tell in that my module file, right? That configuration has to do it in the your module file. You have to include your routing class in your module file. That is the second step. Third one is uh, this routing, it should be called in your home component, right? Or your home page, right? Home page is also one of the component, right? On that home component you should call this routing selector or element, routing element. Okay, so these are the main basic steps to implement the routing. Okay, one is have to configure routing module at the routing.module.ts file. Second one is you have to specify this routing class in the module dot your application module.ts file. Third one is you have to call this routing element at your home component. Okay guys, so these steps, you if you know that, routing can be easily implemented. So there are other steps in addition of these basic steps. There are other steps to achieve the other actions in the routing that we can see later in this session. Okay, now so as a first step, what I'm doing, that first I'm going to app.routing file. See, how many components are there in my solution? Right now I have four components. One is fav component, one is home component, one is page not found component, personal details component, and xyz component, and app component. These are the components I have in my solution. Okay, so here what I have done, this is the file app routing.module.file. Here I have to mention how many components I want to include in my routing. Okay, so this file automatically will created by your solution. Constants route is a type of array variable of type routes. Okay, so here I am specifying that this is the one component to be part of the routing. Okay, this is one component to be part of the routing. This is one component to be part of the routing, and this is like that. How many components you want to have it in your routing, you have to mention it here. Okay, and this component can be identified by this path. Okay, I'll show you how. This is the alias name you can give it. You just remember that. Okay, to identify this component, this is the alias name which we are giving it. Okay, guys, clear? Here you just need to mention all your components. What are the components you want to be there in the routing? Okay, so when you want to specify over here, first you have to import those components on this file. This is the common thing in our Angular solution. You have to include components, then you have to specify that each component. Okay, then this, so I'm using home component as my application home component. Okay, here I came, you see, here I have used home component. This is my home component. Here in the home component, I just have only links of my all components. I created a menu. You can think of it. So what I have created here, I have created UL tag. Under UL tag, I have created LI tag. Okay, 3 LI tag, and each LI tag, what I am doing it. So I am just, you know, calling that component with the routing alias name. Okay, here I did not give any name. See, for example, where is that? Yeah, if I come here, you see, for this I did not give any alias name, because I want make it as a default link highlighted when my home page is opened. By default, this option, this component will be loaded. That is the reason for default component I did not give any alias name. Okay, so when I open my application, whatever the component, default component will be rendered. That is the reason I did not give any name. You just need to have single quotes and give it blank. Okay, so here, if I come here, I did not, routing link is one of the property. In this each LI, I have used one more element called anchor tag. A is an anchor tag, right? In that anchor tag, I have given the property call. I have called the property called routing link. Okay, routing link. Here in the routing link, I need to call the component alias name. So for fav component, for favorite component, in this file, what I have given the alias name? This is my fav component. Here for this, what is the alias name I have given? Fav component, right? This name I am calling it here. So for app component, okay, for app component, what is the name I have given? App small a app component, I have given the alias name. Same name I am using it here in the second LI to call the app component through my router. Understand? That name you should call using the routing link property or attribute. You just need to remember this router link. Anchor tag router link, I have paused it and I'm calling that alias name. Okay guys, so next one, XYZ component is my other component to be part of the routing, and I gave this alias name XYZ component. It is not mandatory to give the exact name. You can give your own name also here. Okay, uh, so I called that XYZ component in the other link. Okay, I just taken only 3 components to be shown on the page. You can add as many as you want to. Okay, when I see, this is the other thing, this is the home component of the HTML. As a third step, what I have to do, I have to call this tag router hyphen outlet slash router hyphen outlet. This you have to call it. Okay, that means this will be the your app default router component. This component home.component.html. Okay, When I open this, where is okay, here you see this. So this is my router. Actually, double it is coming. It should not come. Okay. This is my navigation components which I have built. Now it is showing, vertical. You can make it as a horizontal by applying CSS. The styles is a different. What style you want to have it, you can make it through CSS. So when I click on the fav component loaded. Yeah. When I click on that component loaded. When I click on the XYZ component loaded, and also you observe that the selection also getting changed, right? Selection also getting changed. That means active. The selected one should be active. Okay. Selected one should be active. That you can, achieve through this property. You should have this router link active equal to active. Otherwise all will be selected if you don't have it this. Any doubts?
Internally, how it will work? Routing. How it will work?
Internally how it works means?
How it will find when you are clicking on a link.
Okay.
Where it will find the link and how it navigates.
Okay. So, yeah. This is my home component, right? This is my home component. Okay. Here I have the routing I have implemented. Okay. When I browse this one, when I browse this one, internally what file it will be called in Angular? Index.html, right? Okay. Index.html will have module, your module, app module dot ts it will have, right? In that app module dot ts, I am specifying this routing enabled. Yeah, this I'm about to tell you. Here I mentioned the module called app routing module. Okay. When you hit the browser on that index.html, your module file will call. Okay. That module file checks that this routing class is there or not. Okay. If the routing class is there or not, it will check, and also it will check that which component has the router element. Okay, which component has the router element? So where I have that router element? Where I kept that? I kept that router element at the home component dot html. This one. Home component dot html. So then I have implemented all routing links over here. Okay. Internally after this will check that all configurations available on the routing configuration file. Clear? Okay. So app module, you have to mention that imports. Okay. You have to mention that in the app routing dot module. If you see here, this will coming from app routing module. Okay. Ultimately, your app module will be called in your index.html, right? What is that? Yeah. You see, this will be used in index.html main.ts. Here in the main.ts, if you see app module, I'm calling the app module. This app module ultimately bootstrap in browser. How many components you mentioned in this app module, those many components only can be bootstrapped. That means it will be rendered in your browser. If you have multiple modules, then you have to mention the multiple modules, right? Yeah. Right now we have only one module. If you are working in the bigger project, then you can have multiple projects, right? Those module names you have to mention it here by importing it. Okay. Fine. Yeah. This is clear. Okay. So this way we can implement routing. You can think of it, we can implement that routing without the routing concepts also, right? We know that how we call one component from other component. We know, right? You can call one component into other component. Even we know that we can pass value from one component to other component. We can implement in such a way that, but what is the use of to follow this structure? Okay, so we are working for the single page applications. That Angular, it supports the complete single page application. Only one page can support. Okay, when I uh, when I you observe that if I implement that without routing, if I use my custom logic to provide the navigation links, then it won't support you this kind of thing. See, when I click on here, what it's showing? Favorite component. Fav component, which is I give the alias name, right? When I click on here, it is showing app component. When I click on here, it is showing XYZ component. So directly you can browse this. It is directly showing you XYZ component. Okay, if you implement your logic, you can't achieve this. Okay? Yeah. So this coloring and everything can be done by through CSS. Uh, that also I'll show you. You see this active, because of this router link active property, these are coloring, and it is shifting selection from one component to other component. Okay, so if you go here in the CSS class, this is the global CSS class for your solution. Even if your individual components can have its own CSS, but it is a global CSS. The CSS which you want to apply to all components, you can write over here. Okay, this is a global CSS. First, I have created a class to apply to a anchor tag. You can write, right? So this is the class. Wherever you use the anchor tag, for that anchor tag, automatically these properties will be applicable. Okay. On that anchor tag, I have created one more, subclass active. Here, I have given some CSS styles. Okay, that is the reason. If you see here, when I click on router link, this component knows that this is a anchor tag. Automatically, whatever the styles I have written for anchor tag, those styles will applicable. And also inside anchor tag, I have created one more subclass is active. whatever the you know classes which I have created, the styles will applicable to this royal blue. It is showing right for you. There is a blue. It is coming here because of this one background color royal blue. Okay, this is more about that CSS and that stuff that they will do that for you. Till here clear before we go into next item. Okay. So router link active options is exact true. That one also, these two things have to use it for color change or click change. Okay, you have to use these two for the home component, and other things are active is fine. Next one. Here I have shown you. If I remove this, if I type fav component, it is showing the fav component. If I type wrong here, like say 2222, I typed it. What is showing? Page not found. Right? If the URL which you type is wrong, then you should show some common message to the end user, like some images you should include, and you should show that common messages to him. That one also we can implement by configuring it. Uh, yeah, here home component can be identified without any characters blank, and the default component can be identified with the star star, double star. Okay. If any URL is not matched, alias name is not matched, okay, in the routing URL, automatically it will come into that default component. I have created the component called page not found. That is the reason it is showing hello. నేను ట్రైనింగ్ లో ఉన్నాను, కాల్ చేస్తాను. Okay, so here I have created one component called page not found, right? So here I just, this is also component. You can whatever the CSS you have given that. Okay, here you can use, please type correct URL or contact. Okay, just typed it. Okay, succeeded. If I type here, this came automatically. No need of refresh. Okay, because this is not available, right? This component is not available. So that is the reason. Yeah, fav component came. That you can achieve through this one. Path is the keyword, and here you have to mention that alias name, that star star. That component will be rendered. So that is called wildcard. Default component of your routing is called, if not find, that is called wildcard. Okay, we have seen that Angular router link and router link active for switching of tabs from one component to another component. So next one is routing parameters we can see. Here if you see that normally, let's assume that when you are working on that fav component and this fav component has to pass the values to other component, or this fav component have some query string value and you have to read that value in the inside the component, and and use it some inside of your business logic or somewhere else, right? This is the query strings to be passed. This way only, right? We can pass the query strings, question marks, that name equal to that value. We are passing it. So this we should able to read in your component, in the fav component. How can we read it? So that you go your component, fav component. This is the fav component.ts. Okay. This is how we can read that. Okay, in your component, first you have to import this router component, this one, Angular slash router is the router class that you have to import in your component. And this component, this class, this is a variable, right? This class variable, this one, route will provide you the method property query param map. Okay, when you type here, yeah, this one, query param maps, multiple also you can read. Okay, and whatever the value is coming from the parameters, I am reading it this way. So this is the variables, internal variable which I declared, and this get is the method to read that variable and the value of it. Okay, this I am printing in console log. Whatever the value is there in the uh, whatever the value we are passing through this variable, I am reading it and doing it console log. This is a kind of method, guys. Just okay. So if you see here, I'm passing one, right? Whatever the value which I am passing it here, that I am reading internally in my component. I am storing it in the console log. I'm showing it in the console log. If I go here, okay, just clearing this. If I type, what is that I noted down? ID value is one, right? One is showing, right? If I type 200, it is showing 200. Okay, yeah, that way we can read the values. Thousand. It is reading from the browser whatever the value you passed it, and it is you can use it in your component level. Okay, it's fine, right? And one more thing, yeah. This is the way we can read the value and show it. There are some other methods also here in the query param. Now we are reading only one variable at a time, right? To read multiple variables at a time, there are some methods, query params, map, some related methods are there. You can check that, you can explore them. So next one is, let's assume that we are in that uh, fav component. I have done my business logic. When I click on that, when I click on the button, I need to redirect to home again. Home component, I need to go there. So I just see this is the button here in the fav component. When I click on here, I went into home again, right? So I'm just calling other component. That is home component, I'm calling it. We just need to check this, how we done. I have created one method called nav home. Okay, again I'm using this route variable which I have declared in my constructor of router object. So router class object is a route. From that route I am calling the method navigate. Okay, here I am passing that component alias name. That home component, what is the alias name I have given? Blank, right? So I just gave blank here in this syntax. Okay, so that is the reason when I come here fav component and I click on that nav, it is going into nav component. So that here in the HTML, if you see this is the button I have created. Okay, I created one button. In this button, I'm just calling this method nav home. This is navigating me to nav component or home component. Okay, whatever the projects required ones, that navigation, reading the query string values, and showing the error message when the particular component is not available. All the stuffs is covered in the navigation now. So you can build your navigation component and for your application. Okay. Yeah. How we are passing that values for if you see this, uh, okay. If I click on the fav component, by default I am passing one, right? Fav component. I'm passing one value, id equal to 1. Here I am passing it. You see that I am calling it. Where is that? Oh, here directly I am passing it, right? Query params. This is the property to use to pass that parameters. This is the id and this is the value I am passing it. 2, 1. So by default, I am passing this value 1, 2. You can type whatever the value you want to pass in the browser, that will automatically understand and take it. Okay. This statement you should use. This property you should use in the component. Query params equal to that variable name which you want to give and default value of this. If you don't want to default value, you can remove it. Okay, next one. Any doubts on routing? I hope it is clear till now. Yeah. Next one is a bootstrap. Bootstrap. Okay. Uh, Bootstrap is an open library which is developed by the Twitter for creating responsive applications. It is most popular CSS framework for developing mobile first applications. Okay, so I don't know how it in the Angular use it. We have seen it in our SPFX application. We have included Bootstrap. Okay, we have included Bootstrap in my project. That Bootstrap is giving me the some default controls like text box control, radio button controls. You know, all the controls which will give it to me with a similar kind of look and feel. Okay, and also those control can render in mobile any devices without affecting the look and feel. Okay, any devices it will supports you. So here also I feel same. Okay, what we need to do here also, we just need to add that control to our solution. To add that bootstrap, we just need to install this way. npm install bootstrap @jquery. I mean bootstrap jquery save. So it will be automatically added in your solution. So you can use that whatever the features available in it. But I did not check how it works in the Angular, but we will discuss tomorrow. I'll see and tell you if possible. I think till this level you guys not required of it. So because we follow our own look and feel, right? Client may like their own branding. They will not follow what the Bootstrap is providing it. So client will suggest that this is the branding of us, we should follow this. Then obviously we have to provide the look and feel our application. But at the same time, whatever the our UI team is providing that look and feel of our application, that should be mobile first. It should be open in all browser, all devices. That way they will do take care of it, responsive and all that stuff. So in rare cases, we use that bootstraps controls, bootstrap CSS. Okay. Okay, I think there are template driven forms are there. That is more advanced. I think I did not include it in this training. That is more into validations, you know, form validations, on-fly validations. You know, when you type here in the first name, so if it is not match, automatically it should be highlighted with the red color, that border. That kind of stuff, template-driven forms is there. That I did not covering it here. If possible, tomorrow I can tell you. Then we can wind up this trainings. Okay, guys. Any questions? I hope we came from zero to some extent to work on the projects. Okay, fine. Thank you. Any doubts? You can ask me or else.
Doubts or any confusion,
I'm just giving training only.
whatever it is, you have the better knowledge, right? So
Uh,
you will call me.
If I, yeah, definitely. If I can help you, then obviously I'll support you guys.